Thank you for listening to All Things Tech.
And welcome back to All Things Tech. This is Conscious Chat. Hear more shows like this one by visiting consciouschat.com. We list every show on there so you can stream them free of charge via YouTube or SoundCloud right through the website. Today we're going over the paranormal, opening up the lines. We're going to be going over paranormal investigations, the afterlife. We'll even be doing our own EVP investigation live on air, so we'll see if we can get some spirits to join us as well on our Open Lines Paranormal Night. We have a few people standing by already, so let's go ahead and get started. Take it away, guys.
Hello.
How's it going?
Pretty good. Where are you from?
On the West Coast. Where you at?
Ontario, Canada.
Hey, what's up?
How's it going?
Oh, so what do you think about these some of these ghost shows? You think some of them fake their shit, or you think there's any authentic ones left?
I don't know. I don't think they fake it. They don't normally find much, but I don't know. Sometimes they get some decent recordings or whatever. But I never see much, man, on the ghost shows. I think that it's out there, but I don't think they get very much good evidence of it.
I don't know. For me, I personally think that it's all, they may get certain clips, but it's a lot of editing and making it seem like it's really more exciting than it actually is. It's one thing to actually be doing an investigation yourself than on a TV show where, you know, they just find a few good spots and clip it all together.
Yeah, I agree. They're just showing you like highlights. Yeah, I don't watch those shows too much.
How's everybody doing tonight? I've been watching this hurricane and I just heard you, but I'm here.
Yeah, I was watching that. It's pretty crazy.
I know, and the thing is, well, if there's any haunted locations around, it's going to get crazy. Trust me, storms seem to feed paranormal activity.
I agree. The solar eclipse that we had the other day really brought on some pretty crazy stuff.
Yeah, I could see that. It's crazy. Yeah, the solar eclipse caused something to happen with our waters here on the West Coast, and like the tide changed and 300,000 salmon got out.
I know one thing. I'd like to see someone go to Dartford Cemetery up there in Green Lake, Minnesota. I've never seen anybody go there.
Yeah, the professionals try and stick to buildings and not like cemeteries and shit. So if you go on YouTube, you might be able to find something. Because I know some places they'll live stream their stuff, like Live Sci-Fi. They live stream a lot of their stuff in the places they go.
Have you heard of the Gravity Hill in Prosser, Washington, where if you park your car and turn it off, it'll just start to roll uphill at this one certain spot way out in the country?
Is that the one with the whole school bus thing? Because I think they debunked that on Ghost Hunters, that it was like the grade of the hill.
Yeah, I think they might have had it on there. There's a bunch of videos online of people doing it. But I don't know, there's weird stuff where you can like put powder on the back of your car and there'll be handprints in it. I don't know how you debunk that.
Well, they actually like did a Windex test, and they Windexed like half of their vehicle, like on the back, and they were basically saying that the handprints were probably from when people were like shutting their trunk or washing their car or whatever. Because like the side that they Windexed down, there was no fingerprints on that side.
Yeah, I'd have to watch it. Makes sense. Could be something, some way to explain it scientifically. I don't know. It's strange.
Well, the thing about Dartford Cemetery is it's got 1800s graves, and there's actually an Indian war chief buried there. I've got a picture of his headstone.
Yeah, I haven't heard of that. It sounds crazy.
We have the same thing out in Ontario, in Burlington. They have they call it Magnetic Hill, and it's the same story about the school bus, but I've done it before and it's pretty cool. But I think it has to do with the like it's an actual magnet, like the Earth's gravitational pull, and that's what causes it. It's nothing paranormal.
Yeah, I do security for a living. I do armed security now, but I've worked unarmed security in certain areas. And we had this housing project that was built in the 70s where the 5 or 6 top floors were locked off to where only we could get access. Like the elevator wouldn't even stop there. So we had to take the elevator to the first gate, unlock it, turn around, relock it when we go through up the stairs all the way up. And there was these stories people would tell me about this murder that happened on some of the floors, and it would actually reenact. I actually lost this SD card that it was on, but I actually was able to get footage of 2 shadows chasing it. One shadow, it looked like it fell on the floor, and the other shadow looked like it had a knife or something, like something dark in its hand, like stabbing. And I actually I looked around in Google and stuff and asked around, and the cops actually caught him. The guy a couple floors down, and they ended up shooting him, the murderer. And they also had a lot of deaths in that place, where we had to do like checks on the old people to make sure that they still answered the phone. Because like if they didn't answer the phone after 3 tries, we had to go up there and verify, that they were still alive.
So does anyone do their own paranormal investigations?
No, I don't. I think it's an interesting subject, but no, I don't do any investigations on my own. Like research, I'll listen to people's stories. That's about it.
So I've got my own. I do my own investigating, and I've actually got what they call an Andy's Ghost Box, and it's pretty cool. You actually, I'm able to actually talk through it, and I've gotten audible responses from spirits.
Do you have it recorded?
Yeah, I've actually recorded some stuff, and usually you don't hear it so much, like when you first put the record, or when you record it, but when you play it back, that's when all these voices come out.
Yeah, I'd like to hear that. I want to put that on our website, consciouschat.com.
Yeah, I'll have to write that down, consciouschat.com.
Yeah, we do little podcasts where we talk about like paranormal or conspiracies or whatever theories are out there, out of the box. But yeah, that'd be interesting, man. I'd like to hear those recordings.
Yeah, for sure. I'll go on the website and see if I can figure out how to download it, or upload it rather.
So how does the box work? What's the box doing? I mean, you actually speak into the box, or you just listen through the box? I don't get it.
So yeah, basically what you do is it's radio frequency, so it's picking up the radio signals, and you talk to like wherever you are, like to just I guess the air around you, and you ask questions, and if there's someone that actually wants to come through, they'll actually answer the questions or say something.
What if I was to do that with just one of our really good like studio microphones and just like really turned up the decibels on that when I played it back? Do you think that could pick anything up, or is this picking up some certain type of magnetic wave or something?
Well, I mean, I guess you could, if you had the microphone turned up loud. I mean, I guess in a way it's similar to an EVP, right? Where it's you talk, and if there's someone, they'll come through on the other side when you're recording it.
Yes, I've never messed around with anything that's able to pick that up. So EVP, that's just electronic voice phenomena. So that's any type of recording software that can pick up a voice. I don't get it. What is it picking up?
I don't exactly know how it works. I just know that it does. I've picked up some pretty creepy stuff, and kind of cool in the same way. I actually had, I'll have to see if I can find it, but I had I was at my cousin's house, and she has 2 dogs, and I asked if there was anybody there, could they tell me what type of animal was in the house, and there was 3 different voices that responded saying dog, dog, dogs. It was really cool but creepy in a way.
It's interesting. Yeah, it says that they're supposed to be recorded on magnetic audio tape, and that's like the really old audio tape. That's weird. I don't know if yours is using that. It's kind of like what a cassette tape would have in it. It's strange.
Yeah, actually, it's pretty cool, the device. If you actually Google it, just type in Andy's Ghost Box, and it actually will come up. But the guy that he's from Chicago, and he makes custom-made ones. Like the one that I have is actually an old cigar box, but it's really cool.
Yeah, I've got an app. It's called Ghost Communicator, but it's kind of like a ghost box. It has an EMF detector and everything on it, and you can actually get EVPs on it too.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Back here, as you can see, we have the toggle on-off switch.
This one's in a cigar box too. Is that how they all are, or what?
Yeah, I think so. Most of them are. You can basically, if you get in touch with the guy, he actually makes them out of whatever you would want. It's all just it's a housing, right? And it's just the electronics that are inside that make the difference.
Yeah, I don't know if I trust one of those apps. I don't know. I've seen those before. They even have ones where you can like film the room and it'll show aspirations or whatever, but I don't think I trust those.
By the way, Officer Griffin, did you get the picture I sent to you in your solo? It's kind of creepy, I'm warning you. Yeah, I sent him a picture of an old Indian war chief's headstone that's at Dartford Cemetery. It looks wicked. They actually say Dartford Cemetery is haunted as can be, though. That's why it looks so creepy.
I'd like to pose a question. What do you guys think about the cemeteries being haunted? I mean, technically, it would be, right? Because, I mean, everyone that dies is, in the cemetery, right? But at the same point, sometimes I kind of wonder, like, if depending on where you died, like, or especially depending on how tragic it was. I mean, if I was killed in a car accident, I would assume that where I would be haunting would be where the accident was, not the grave where I'm buried.
Yeah, I agree. They didn't die in the cemetery, and they didn't spend most of their time during their life, or any time in their life at that cemetery, so I don't think that's where they would be. But it's possible. I mean, I don't know. It's more likely that they'd stay near where they lived or where they died. I agree.
That is unless they're still attached to their body, and then there's the case where they might be there.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I have gotten some pretty cool and creepy pictures at the cemetery when I've gone at night to snap a few photos, but...
Yeah, it is a designated space for the dead, so maybe that attracts them. Who knows?
I know the picture of that headstone I sent to Officer Griffin. The headstone looks like the eyes are actually watching you. I know I've done a EVP session here in my house with my voice recorder, and I know there was no interference. And some funny reason, I heard a horse galloping, and my house used to be a horse farm, so that's kind of creepy.
Yeah, I've never heard one speak. It'd be crazy. I don't understand the Andes boxes because you hear like music playing in the background, so it could just be the words of the music.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, though, the night that I done the EVP with my voice recorder, it was silent in this house. And I swear to God in all its holy, I heard a horse braying and galloping. That is freaky because this used to be a horse farm, and that is no joke.
Yeah, it's hard to record to get any audio. I mean, you barely get anything, you can barely hear it. But on the Ouija board, you can get like instant access and have them responding. What do you think about the Ouija board? Are those spirits or what?
They could be demons, demonic spirits, because that's like a portal for those things, and I wouldn't touch one.
Yeah, it seems a little too easy to get access, and they do seem evil a lot of the time. It's weird. Yeah, I messed with one before, and it was able to tell us a lot of different things.
Yeah, I've played with the Ouija before. The way I look at it, it's all in the how you properly word and ask questions. If you're specifically asking to speak with someone, like let's say a loved one that has passed before you, then you might be bringing on a demon. But if you say like whenever I do a Ouija session, what I say is I'm looking to speak with like a nice any good spirits type of thing, right? Like I say right away that I'm not looking for anyone negative, and then what I usually do is I don't ask to speak with someone specific. I just say who would like to talk.
Yeah, so it's kind of like channeling. Even channelers say they can, speak with just certain entities. But yeah, I mean, you could channel bad ones, I guess. I don't know. A lot of channelers say they're talking to extraterrestrials, though. They don't really say they're channeling spirits. But there is like Seth Speaks. I guess he's a spirit, not an extraterrestrial. Have you read that?
No, I've never heard of that, but I should Google that because yeah, that seems interesting. But yeah, I don't know. Sometimes like I just think like it's interesting to actually use the board, but I'm very leery about where I do it. And then the other thing is I usually will say say a prayer to sort of make sure that I say goodbye and that nothing else follows me home.
Yeah, it can be crazy. I know people have like freaked out using the Ouija board that bad negative things were happening. But yeah, Seth Speaks is a good book. I mean, that's by Jane Roberts, and she's channeling a soul that just describes the whole spirit world and what it's like to be a soul. It's crazy. She's got a few different books, and some really famous channelers started out by reading Jane Roberts' material.
Yeah, my whole idea even too in general as far as when I've been asked, what I think about the paranormal and, where, like, because some people say that, there's, when you die, that's it, you just die. But I always say, I'm sure you've probably heard it, where this Einstein's theory of relativity, where, when we die, our energy's got to go somewhere, and it doesn't just disappear, it remains. But I kind of see us on almost like a different plane, where it's sort of like we're 3D, we're three-dimensional, and let's say those who have died, the spirit world or the souls, are on a second dimension rather.
Yeah, I agree. They're in a different dimension. And there's obviously ways to communicate with that dimension. Seems like the ones you can communicate with are in between dimensions.
Yeah, they're kind of in between what you call limbo.
Yeah, I wonder what makes a soul get stuck in limbo or how long it takes before they move on. Strange.
I don't know. It depends on if they had unfinished business or not. But that's probably the reason why, because they had unfinished business.
Yeah, but by sticking around, I mean, do they stick around just because they don't want to leave? Doesn't seem like they can make much of a difference or finish any business. There's little they can do. I don't know.
Well, the thing is, they remain earthbound because they can't complete their unfinished business, and that's what happens to them.
I agree. I think you went solo for a second on accident. But yeah, I'd rather believe that they are able to move on rather than trapped for eternity or something.
Well, Knowledge, when I get a chance, I'm going to send that picture of that headstone to you, and you'll see what I'm saying when it looks like the eyes on that headstone are watching you. It's so creepy.
Yeah, if you get that, send it to me. I added you. Yeah, that's a creepy pic. Yeah, it definitely freaked me out looking at that in a cemetery.
You know, one of my favorite pictures, do you guys know about the airman from one of the, I think it was World War II, that showed up in the picture?
I don't think so.
Oh, that's a awesome picture. So basically, it was one of the, he was a mechanic, I think it was, and he had died in an accident 2 days before they had a group photo. And then the day of the group photo, they took the picture, and then someone looked at it after, and he showed up for his picture 2 days after he was deceased.
Yeah, it's creepy. It's crazy they'd be able to do something like that. It's insane. I don't understand why some people can do that and some people don't. It's weird.
Well, my mom came back to me the very day that she had died, and for some reason, I guess she had a smile on her face, and she crossed over. Since then, I hadn't seen her anymore, though.
Yeah, it's interesting when they do. When my mom was passing, she'd go in and out of comas right before she passed, and she actually described the other side pretty well. My grandma recorded it and wrote it all down. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it is, and I heard it's beyond can compare to nothing here on Earth.
Yeah, it's interesting if you listen to all the near-death experiences, and yeah, I don't know. That's what she said. It's pretty indescribable, I guess. But she was just saying how lucky she is, which is a strange thing for someone to say who's passing away. But yeah, it's indescribable, I guess.
I must say I'm thankful, though, that it seems like when people are about to pass on, that they get such a sense of comfort and peace. It makes me happy and I believe that, if that's really the case, then, like, we don't have anything to worry about when our time comes.
That's very true, because to tell you the truth, God doesn't throw any of his children away. When you pass away, he brings you home.
Yeah, that's true. I agree. And there's a lot of people, multiple witness testimony, thousands of people saying the same thing, having a positive experience,
Yeah, that's like before I ever got pregnant with my son. For some reason, there was a giant white orb appeared in my bedroom in our apartment. There was no windows around. And I said, Uncle Charles, is that you? And it vanished. And shortly after, I found out it was going to be Mama. Because he thought of me as his little girl, so I believe it was him.
Appeared as a white orb, you said, huh? A lot of people, UFOs, appear as orbs. I guess spirits do too, huh?
Yes, they do, and it was a brilliant, bright white. I mean, it was brighter than any light here on Earth, and it was just indescribable. But as soon as I said, Uncle Charles, is that you? It vanished, and there was no windows in my room at all.
Well, people get them in photographs where they'll take a picture and there'll be like thousands of different orbs all over. It's kind of weird. I've seen it in video too, where orbs will fly all around the screen while I'm filming a video.
Yeah, I've seen some really cool orbs myself. It sort of, the only thing is with some orbs, they're classified as dust. But then there's certain orbs that you just can't explain, like even colored orbs. Like, there's no way that you could pick up that light, through the camera.
Exactly, and the thing is, my room that night was pitch black. And then all of a sudden, this big, white, bright orb just appeared out of nowhere.
Yeah, that seems different than just the orbs that people are taking pictures of. Usually they don't even see them in real life. But if you see some blaring light, brighter than any light you've seen, that's different. That's different than the pictures of the orbs. If you got a picture of that I wonder what that would have looked like.
It would have been so bright until it would have blinded the computer camera.
Or it might not have even shown up because it wasn't something that could be captured only the human eye could capture it.
Very true, because me and my uncle were seriously close. I mean, like I said, he thought of me as his little girl, and everywhere he went, he wanted to take me with him and everything. But he was a real good mechanic too.
Yeah, I definitely think they can come back to you. A lot of people report that when they pass away, someone like that will be there to greet them as well, like to welcome them to the other side.
Yeah, I know, and I know my mama, my grandma, my uncle, and all my loved ones that's passed on before me. They gonna be waiting for me because they love me, you know, and I love them. And well, just because they're dead, they're not lost. I know where they are.
Hey, let me ask you guys a question. You guys think that it's a different dimension or something for like spirits that have passed on? How do you explain demons?
Well, demons, they come straight from the pits of hell, and that is kind of what you call a spiritual dimension. No one on earth can see it until they pass, and if they ever see it when they die, it will scare them. But yeah, it's a spiritual dimension where demons are, and it's basically hell, and that's horrible.
Yeah, but if you're going by the biblical sense versus scientific, if I don't know which ones you guys believe in, the Bible and stuff, it says the demons were sent in the vicinity of the earth. So do you think like our reality now is one dimension, and then wherever like the earth has different dimensions on it?
Yeah, I do. I mean, those are the people who are still here living. That's our dimension, which is reality. And then there's the spiritual dimension, where there's human spirits. And then there's the pits of hell, which is another spiritual dimension, which demons come from.
Yeah, maybe there's different levels of dimension, or different levels in the spirit realm. But I don't know, you have really good spirits that are angelic and really bad ones that are demonic, so maybe there's no limit to how good or bad they can be on the other side. They still have that free will.
Exactly, and tell you the truth, I don't want anything to do with any demonic spirits, but I'd like to talk to an angelic spirit. Now, that would be cool, like Michael the Archangel, or Timothy, Mark, Luke, or John. Yeah, I'd like to talk to them.
Yeah, a lot of people channel the archangels, I've heard that. Yeah, it'd be interesting. It's like talking to an advanced being.
Exactly, and the funny thing about Michael, he loves a good battle.
He loves a good what?
A good battle.
Well, I know that whenever I needed, some help, I was able to, I guess you would say, channel the angels, and they were able to help me, And I think that's the one thing that is so interesting, because it's like a lot of people, they don't realize they have that help if they need it, but don't actually reach out, or they don't believe. And I think that's something that I wish people would know more about.
Yeah, me too. And the thing is, Jesus is in the spiritual dimension. He's in heaven. But even though he tries to bless people, they will not allow him to. And, that's just not right.
Yeah, getting into religion, that's a whole different topic. I'm not big on mainstream religions, or, people say you have to go through Jesus to get to God. I could believe in Jesus maybe as like an archangel, but not as the one true God. But we could say religion for another day.
Well, when it comes to religion, I just think, what? Either way, whether you believe it or not, in the end, we're going to find out. And that'll be the interesting thing, is when we all, are done on this earth, what happens to us, right?
Very true. And I'm interested in seeing what's going to be here waiting on me at the end, and hey, it's going to be good because I'm a Christian, but,
Yeah, to each his own. I don't think anyone has anything to fear, whether they're Christian or not.
I do know that Highway 49 here in Mississippi, it's got to be haunted. There's been multiple deaths on that highway, and one just recently happened. It was a man who died in a propane truck wreck, and He was actually my friend Red Sullivan's son-in-law, and he was only 25, and he died of a heart attack.
Yeah, I drove through Mississippi. I don't think I took Highway 30 though. I was on like 55, I think.
I think most highways are probably pretty haunted if like you actually stop traffic and you were to do an investigation. I mean, everywhere, every highway, there's been so many deaths, from people speeding or, you know, cell phones, deaths or drinking and driving deaths. Like the list goes on and on. Like, and you think since they first put in any of the highways, there's been multiple, thousands and thousands of tragedies.
Yeah, I would think that's where it would be haunted, where you have lots of people dying. I agree. But I don't hear many reports of people seeing spirits on the highways, so I don't know. It's a hard place to do an investigation, I guess.
Probably because it's too busy. I mean, they're probably around, but I mean, no one stops and takes a picture on the side of the highway, right? I mean, that's one of the major differences.
That's very true, and I know where quite a few people died. I mean, there's even a 9-year-old boy that was named Dylan that died right there on a side road beside Highway 49, and he was killed by a drunk driver because he was trying to do what his parents asked him to do by putting something in the back of their truck.
Yeah, that's one thing I hate seeing people do is get out of their vehicle on the highway. You should be having your seatbelt strapped in and stay there and call for help. I used to be a first responder for the fire department, and that's one of the things I hated seeing is because people are gawkers, and they'll look at a car that's on the side of the road, and if you're near that vicinity, they'll drive right into you.
Yeah, I know, and well, this baby, he got hit, and it was like he was instantly dead. I mean, he was just a tiny little 9-year-old boy.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking. I mean, but the only thing that I would say is good, if anything can come out of that, would be that he died instantly and not suffered.
Yeah, exactly. And from time to time, I see his mama pulling to the side of the road and putting stuff on his memorial, which that's a real sad thing to see because she's heartbroken.
Yeah, that is heartbreaking, man. That is a tragedy. It's unfortunate. I wish cars were safer. Vehicles need to be safer. That happens way too often. It's terrible.
Yeah, I think people who drive drunk should be forced to ride horses instead of drive cars. At least that would be a little bit safer.
Well, they kind of are. I mean, they lose their licenses pretty quick if they keep doing it. And yeah, it's dangerous, man.
Yeah, the sad thing is something real bad happened to one of my family members and her best friend. They were coming home. One of them was, and the other one was headed to work, and going around a curve that was called Dead Man's Curve, go figure. They had a head-on collision. Her friend's arm was severed. The steering wheel of the car that my aunt was in went into her chest, and something under the car seat cut the calf of her leg off. They both died quickly, but my Aunt Linda left 2 small kids behind, a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old.
Yeah, that's sad.
Yeah, it is, and the thing is, she was in one of them little bitty small cars, and that's one reason I don't like a small car. I like a car that's kind of got all American made steel instead of fiberglass.
Yeah, they make these vehicles now where it's made of this all cheap plastic parts, and they go really fast, and they're better on gas than those old vehicles. But you know what? The very first car I owned was a '88 Caprice Classic, and I'm telling you, that vehicle was phenomenal. I remember learning to drive, and I hit a post, and it didn't even make a dent. It was like I never even hit the pole.
Yeah, it's always antique cars that turn out to be the best ones, and my dream car is a Ford Fairlane 500 Skyliner, and I have yet to find one at a good price. Now, the only car I wouldn't want is if it was a haunted car that was haunted by its former owner, then no.
How about Christine, the car from Stephen King?
No, I don't think I'd want that one. Or any kind of a haunted vehicle, because that would creep me out to be looking around, and next thing you know, the radio come on by itself.
Yeah, you know what? When things start turning on without you doing it yourself, that's when it would freak me out.
Me too, because I'd be like, somebody want a car? It's for sale. Have you ever been to the Stanley Motel? For some reason, that popped in my head, but I heard Mr. and Mrs. Stanley still haunt that.
Whereabouts is that?
I think it's up in Pennsylvania somewhere. I can look it up for you and send you a picture of where it might be.
Yeah, I've never heard of that. Mind you, I haven't had too many ventures out into the States. I've had one haunted bus trip out to Buffalo, New York, but that's about it. But I would like to visit Penn State and check out a few other places that are haunted.
Yeah, well, the Stanley Motel is the one that inspired that movie, The Shining. So, yeah, it's haunted.
Oh, I love that movie.
Can I send you a contact request so I can send you the picture of the Stanley Motel and the location?
Yeah, go ahead. I wanted to send you a picture anyways, too.
All right, contact request sent.
So, do you see anything strange on the pic that I sent you?
For some reason, weirdly enough, I didn't get it yet.
You got it now? On the right-hand side by the grave?
Yeah!
I know, that's one of my favorite photos that I took. That was taken in Niagara-on-the-Lake, Ontario. And I remember snapping the picture, and it was at nighttime. And the weird thing was, I didn't really see it at the time. And then I was going through all my photos the next day, and I'm like, what the heck did I just capture?
Tell me about it. I caught something weird in my house, but it came out as a blue, looked like ectoplasm or something like that, but it looked weird.
Yeah, the ectoplasm is weird sometimes how you can get that, but can you send me that picture that you were talking about earlier at the Indian graveyard there?
Yes, I can, and it's the headstone of a Indian war chief. His name is Chief High-Knocker.
Yeah, because you know what? Actually, it's interesting too, because they say that Indians have a very strong connection with with death and with when the life ends. Oh man, that is creepy looking. You know, I almost don't understand why you would want that on your headstone. Like, that's just a little creepy. I don't know if I'd want to visit someone that has a picture of their face like that.
Tell me about it, but there's even something creepier in there. It's a mausoleum now. If you sat on it, you'll be pushed off by something you can't see, but the kicker is there's actually children buried in that mausoleum that died of yellow fever back in the 1800s.
Oh wow, yeah, that's crazy. I gotta say, I'm impressed though. I'm looking at the date of death. He was born in 1820 and died in 1911. Depending on for someone to live that long back in those days, that's quite impressive.
Yeah, it is. It proves he lived a healthy life, and he died of old age, though.
Yeah, hopefully I'll live that long.
Hopefully you will, but if you want to know where Dartford Cemetery is located, it's in Green Lake, Minnesota. Just type it up on a Google search, Dartford Cemetery, and when you see it, don't get creeped out because it looks like Pet Cemetery at night. It's covered with a thick fog.
And there are so many places that I'd like to visit in the States. It's crazy the amount of cool places you guys have down there.
Yeah, I know, and right here next to me in Louisiana, they got a place called the Myrtles Plantation. It's also haunted. it's turned it into a bed and breakfast, believe it or not, and that's kind of creepy.
Yeah, I can understand though with the plantations, considering like the slavery and God only knows what else went on down there back in the old days.
That's very true. I know also there's one in Vicksburg, Mississippi. It's called Battlefield Park. It's haunted by, I believe, Civil War soldiers.
Yeah, we have quite a few in Canada where from the different wars they're haunting the area. Niagara on the Lake, which is close to where I live, they have it's like a hotbed of activity. And that's actually one of the places where I took that photo there that you've seen.
Yeah, exactly. And I would actually, I know it sounds kind of creepy, but I'd like to visit the catacombs. But I believe there's 6-7 million bodies down in the catacombs.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? It would be creepy, but I mean, it's pretty cool, to see. Like, I just started looking at some of these pictures here, and yeah, like that would be pretty cool to visit. Aside from the creepiness of it.
Yeah, I know, and I'm gonna go get you a picture of the catacombs. It's actually a wall of nothing but human skeletons.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of these pictures here on Google, and yeah, it's crazy. Just all the skulls and everything.
You know the Lizzie Borden rhyme, right? Well, the Lizzie Borden house is actually haunted.
Yeah, that's one of the places I'd like to visit. I'd actually like to go there at nighttime if I could get permission to go there and do my own private investigation.
Now, there's one house you couldn't pay me to go in, and that'd be the Amityville Horror House. I heard that place is haunted by demonic spirits.
Yeah, my one friend of mine, she was able to visit. She didn't actually go inside. She just stood like on the outside, and she said just from like standing outside, there was like a really creepy vibe. Like it was just something she said she can't explain.
Yeah, well, that's understandable considering the murders that took place in that house.
Yeah, you know what? I'm almost surprised though that for such a haunted place that people live there now, and you don't hear anything bad happening.
Yeah, well, maybe now they're not doing any remodeling, but if they done remodeling, they might disturb the spirits that are there.
Yeah, that's true. The when you start to have the remodeling, it seems to bring on activity.
Exactly, because the people that lived there once before just want it left as it was when they lived there, but if you change anything, it disturbs them. I know after the DeFeo murders, there was a family that moved in there that moved out real fast because the activity had got so bad that not even a priest could come in that house.
Yeah, you know what? Like there's definitely something there, but like I don't know. I'm surprised that, like I said, I'm surprised even with like not doing renovations. I'm surprised that anyone would live there. Like like I'm surprised that like it wasn't torn down. Like the amount of people that died there.
Yeah, me too. I mean, if it would have been mine, I'd have burnt it down. I wouldn't have lived in it because a house where there's at least 6 to 7 murders. Hey, yeah, I would not live there.
Yeah, I don't know if it's just all this talking about the paranormal, but I'm here in my house by myself, and I swear I feel like there's someone watching me.
Yeah, there could be, just because you can't see them don't mean they're not there.
That's true, but watching, I looked at that picture of the Chief High Knocker there, and I'm telling you, that just it's so strange, and it's almost like I feel like he is staring at you.
Well, to be honest with you, he roams that cemetery at night.
Yeah, so he's a protector then.
Yeah, to be honest, at night, if you sit out there in that cemetery, you'll see, strangely enough, it looks like the headstones move around.
Yeah, that would be pretty creepy to see.
Yeah, it would be.
I'd be almost tempted to try if I was out that way, to use my ghost box.
Now, that would be neat if you could go to Dartford Cemetery and use your ghost box. Who knows? Maybe you get to talk to some of the people that are there.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've I honestly, like, I don't know how to explain the ghost box, because I don't even really know, to be completely honest, how it works, or, you know, how things happen the way they do, but it's just remarkable to see it in action, and to play back and hear voices that you know aren't coming from the radio station.
Exactly, and the kicker is, spirits are able to manipulate electronics. Yeah, that's like with my phone. Anytime I'm talking about a spirit or anything, for some reason, something in my house drains my phone, like, right away. I mean, it just goes dead. Poof.
Yeah, I've had that happen before. I was talking to Pseudo on here, and I had Christmas lights up, and I was talking to him about ghosts, and all of a sudden my Christmas lights blared really bright a few times. They kept blaring really bright, and then they just went out altogether, and that was what was lighting the room, so I was in the dark. I was like, oh my god, turn on the lights real quick. But yeah, I've seen that before, where they are able to mess with electronics.
Turn lights on and off, open doors, made people pass out, moved shit on its own. You could smell some
Made
weird
shit crawl across the carpet like little cat toys. Yeah, we've lived in some weird houses.
I actually had something move on me. It was a little one of those camera canisters, and it was in a desk, and all of a sudden it was like someone flicked it, and it was rolling towards my ghost box.
Yeah, I've seen it happen before, man. It's crazy. It's definitely something that does occur. We had it happen in our house where a cat toy was like crawling on the floor, where it would like pop up and slide forward and pop up and slide forward, and just crawling forward like that. Me and my friend Joe were just watching it crawl across the living room floor. Yeah, it was just like how a caterpillar walks, I guess, where it like pops its body up and moves forward like that.
Yeah, I think it's almost like they're trying to tell you something.
Well, my mama told me about a house she lived in. There was a butcher knife stuck in the archway, and she couldn't get it out. But every night at 12, blood would start to drip from that knife, and that was kind of creepy.
Yeah, that would be creepy to say the least.
Yeah, that would be some good evidence right there. Have some paranormal investigators come in and check that out. That's crazy.
Yeah, it would be, and the thing is, my mama said they moved out right away, though, because they kind of got freaked out.
Yeah, have you heard of them making people pass out? Because I passed out in that house that we had. It was like a 3-story house. Our kitchen was on the very top floor. And I was just pouring a glass of water, and I saw my hand go to the left and go to the right, and I woke up on the floor. And I had friends in the living room right there that didn't even know I passed out. But then our friend RJ passed out, too, and he came out looking like a ghost, just all white. But I don't know. I guess they're able to make people pass out, it seems like.
It's weird. I'm standing in my office, and I can hear scratching sounds. I have no idea where it's coming from. It's kind of freaky. I'm by myself.
Where's it coming from?
Sounds like it might be coming from the roof. Could be, maybe it is a raccoon or something. I know sometimes they're annoying. They get into everything.
Yeah, that's funny you mentioned that. I just got off the phone with my friend a little bit ago. We were just talking about that because I had bought a house in Indiana. He came down to visit. And while he was there, a raccoon got into our attic and was crawling around up there for like a week while he was visiting. And then like the day after he left, it finally popped through the ceiling on top of our refrigerator in our kitchen. I woke up one morning. There was like a blizzard outside, and I walk in the kitchen. There's a raccoon sitting on top of our refrigerator. It's like, oh my god, only in Indiana, man.
Yeah, and the last time they were on the roof, I ended up having to get some chicken wire and block off some openings like near the chimney and stuff, because you get those stuck in the attic, and if they can't get out, you're in trouble. They'll make babies in there, and it's a pain in the butt.
Yeah, we had to make sure that no more could get in, because it gets really cold in Indiana. In the winter, they'll get like a foot of snow down there. And the raccoons try to find somewhere to go. And they like to go inside, under your house or in your attic or whatever they can get into.
So did you see that picture I sent you?
Yeah, that's a crazy picture, man. On the right side, it looks like there's a ghost in the picture. And all the orbs, it's crazy.
Yeah, it was so weird when I took it. I didn't notice right away. And then all of a sudden, I was like, oh, this seems strange.
Well, all of the kids went back to school. I don't know when the adults go to school.
So do you notice weird stuff when you're all by yourself doing watch?
No, not really. I mean, when I used to work certain like warehouses, or I used to work a housing project a couple of years ago. That was, it was like one big ass building, and it had 15 floors, and I used to see shadow people and shit all the time.
I got a stupid raccoon that's trying to mess around on my roof here.
What happened? What about a raccoon?
Oh, I got a raccoon on my roof. Drives me nuts.
Yeah, I know a lot of people sign off at this time, or they just lurk to listen to stories. But I wish more people would actually be active.
Yeah, I'm on listening in.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, instead of wandering, I'm just walking my post here.
Oh, you're on the clock right now?
I'm just doing my, I got one more round to go, and then I can go home. I'm doing my 11 o'clock round. I did a drive around, and then I'm doing my walks. So, you know what I should do? I should turn on the ghost box while I'm walking around here. Because this used to be a really bad area where people would get killed and shit. Oh my god, dude, I almost drew that. Fuck, I thought there was somebody inside my office. I was about to have to call the cops and shit. But it was a balloon with a fucking shirt in front of it.
Did you capture any EVPs?
Well, mine, it doesn't do an EVP. It has a word generator on it. I was like, is anybody here with me? And nothing answered, so... I mean, all I got was float.
All I did is I turned around and said, is there any kind-hearted souls that would like to speak? And I ended up catching the EVP of a horse galloping and braying, and that kind of freaked me out.
I want to use my ghost box, but I'm at home right now, and I don't like using it too much at home because it's kind of creepy when you're at your house and you're hearing voices. Yeah, I have a question for everyone that's on. Would you guys ever go to Suicide Forest, that place in China that they made that movie about it? I think that would be pretty creepy in there.
I don't know it. Suicide Forest? I've never heard of it.
Yeah, they made it into a movie. It's about a forest where a lot of people go to kill themselves, but there's a lot of people that go into the forest and never come out, and there's something ominous about it. People are constantly seeing like people that are dead.
Yeah, I think I got a spirit messing with my phone right now, and plus I felt something touch my head. Don't know what it was.
Yeah, how's it going, everybody? It's your boy Ray Ray.
Okay. What the hell was that?
Well, it was a human being. Ray Ray, what's going on, everybody?
What's up, brother? Not too much. We're more active at night usually. But we have some pretty interesting conversations in here. We actually, some members think that ghosts are like from an alternate dimension or something.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think they come from a different dimension, and we move on to another dimension. There's no such thing as death. We just pass over to another realm or dimension or whatever you want to call it.
Well, I was trying to say, like, I was, like, because I was questioning, you say it's another dimension, but what about, like, the people that believe in the spiritual side, where, like, heaven and hell, and they're like, yeah, those are different dimensions, too.
Yeah, I don't know if heaven's one dimension and hell is another dimension, or if they're just two different areas as a part of one dimension, never know. But, I mean, it seems to be a different dimension than the one that we're in. We're in physicality. We're there in more like a dimension of just energy, where they can create what they want. Everything's a little slowed down in our dimension.
Yeah, I've been dealing with hauntings and ghosts and demons since I was, like, born. The one house that I grew up, well, partially grew up in, I moved to Florida when I was 12, but, like, we would have, like, shadow people, like, I would actually hear voices, disembodied voices, and all kinds of shit. And, like, everywhere I went, there was always some type of entity around, whether it was around me, my brother, my sister, whatever. Like, I've worked at places where there were shadow people and, murders and deaths and suicides and stuff. So, I mean, even here, I have, sometimes if I don't acknowledge what's here, it'll start, like, throwing shit off of dressers or, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's interesting. Sounds like you've had some first-hand experience with them. Yeah, I've seen some ghosts. I've never heard anything. I've seen them throw anything. I worked at one hotel that the owners told it was haunted, and they would pick up apparitions on their video cameras upstairs. There'd be a ghost that would just pulse up there. I forget what that building used to be. It was something out before it was a hotel. It would have been like a retirement home or some type of facility.
Morning, Officer Griffin. How you doing?
Same shit, same toilet. Gotta be to work today at 5 o'clock my time, work till 1 o'clock my time.
Officer Griffin, are you a police officer, or are you in security or something?
I work armed security.
What kind of facility do you guard?
Currently I do high-risk apartment complexes, or medium to high-risk apartment complexes. Like the one that I'm working tonight is just the other week we had sheriffs coming through police officers coming through trying to serve a warrant on a guy for an armed robbery, so.
Oh wow, I've never seen security at an apartment building. Must be rough. It's crazy, man. You're down in Florida, huh?
Yeah, I work in the Tampa area. It's an area known as Suitcase City.
Hey, Ray, how you doing? I'm actually one of the people who lives in a haunted house, unfortunate.
Oh, really? You just stay there for the entertainment?
Well, it's haunted by my father-in-law who passed away and a malevolent spirit that, well, it's not a good one.
I wonder if a spirit can make it so that it, like, prevents you from being successful since it's in your house. And I wonder if a spirit could help you become more successful.
I don't know, but if it could help me be more successful and having money enough to get my own home, I'd appreciate that because, hey, this house is not a good house.
Just gotta sell your soul to the spirit.
No, I can't do that number. I just have to deal with it because, to be honest, I'm a Pentecostal and I firmly believe in God.
What can you do a positive prayer and cleanse the area?
Yeah, I do that a lot. I burn sage and I say prayers while I'm smudging my house.
Yeah, I was just gonna mention sage. I didn't know if Pentecostals believe in sage or not. We burn a little bit of that. Makes me want to leave the house.
Well, I believe in sage. Really, I do. I'm a Choctaw Indian, so yeah.
Choctaw. My name is Indian too. My last name's Cherokee. But I don't know if I have any real relation. I'll be right back. Ray's got to take a smoke break.
Don't blame me there, Ray. I'm having a cigarette as of now.
Gotta do what you gotta do. I think they're better for you than stress. I'll be right back.
Morning, Knowledge. How you doing?
Morning, how's it going? Griffin's gone, huh?
Yeah, he's not in the room right now. The big thing I'm doing right now is monitoring a huge hurricane that's over there in Texas doing a lot of damage.
I know, I was watching that. I got a buddy in Galveston and told him to leave, and he said, no, this is too cool, man. I'm going to bunker down. I'm like, you're so stupid, bro. In Galveston, you're going to bunker down? All right, man. Good luck out there. I've been watching it, Category 4. I watched it when it hit landfall. Yeah, I can't believe he stayed. Hope he's all right. All my family's in Thibodaux, Baton Rouge, New Orleans, down in Louisiana, but I think they're all right. But Texas is getting hit hard.
Yeah, Texas is getting slammed. I actually got an updated picture of my radar, and that hurricane is looking worse and worse.
Did it stay at a Category 4?
Sure looks like it to me, and it is huge.
Yeah, me and my fiance were tripping. We didn't know that they last like 4 days like that. Because yesterday, right when it was hitting landfall, they said it will still be like this on Monday. I was like, holy shit. And I was like, I can't believe this dude stayed there, man. It's terrible.
Tell me about it. And this is worse than Hurricane Katrina. I mean, Katrina lasted 3 days, of course, but 4? No.
Man, I hope not. I mean, if you look at the aftermath of Katrina, that was insane. I couldn't believe that shit. People just stranded on buildings, looked like Venice or something. Was Katrina a Category 5? It was, right?
Yes, it was a Category 5 hurricane, and it really destroyed Mississippi shores, especially up in Biloxi. It looked like a war zone.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it, man. And my family did not vacate, and they were all okay. My grandma's house is still there. It looks the same. I don't know how that is, but it was just crazy, man. Down in New Orleans, it was real bad.
Yeah, I know. A lot of people died in that.
Yeah, it was a tragedy for sure. It's crazy, man. Yeah, I hope Texas doesn't get it like that.
Well, I've heard that there's already floodwaters being gathering up already, and it's not looking good.
Yeah, I mean, right when it hit landfall yesterday, I was watching the Weather Channel, and the weather guy was standing in water, and he's like, he's in an apartment complex where there's doors on both sides, you know? So he's inland, and there's water up to like his calf. It's like, what the fuck already, dude?
Tell me about it. I mean, that's not actually worse than Hurricane Katrina. I'll send you the radar picture I have of it, but it's going to put a lump in your throat, that's for sure. And there's already a tornado warning in Orange County up there in Texas.
Damn, yeah, if you can send that over. My cousin's down there. Where's she at? Is it Houston? Yeah, she lives in Houston, I think. I wonder if she vacated. I'm going to have to hit her up.
All right, Knowledge, I sent you a picture of my radar. It's in your solo.
Damn, that does not look good, man. It's madness.
Tell me about it. Like I said, this is worse than Katrina. I mean, jeez. Yeah, I think my son sees spirits. You know, he's autistic and ADHD, but I think he can actually see a spirit.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, that would be trippy. It's hard to tell. They'd have to describe it, I guess. I sent you a picture of what the radar looked like during Katrina. It's different looking. I can send you another one. But yeah, it's crazy, man. Yeah, looking at that picture, I'm not surprised you guys got hit pretty hard. You're right there. Yeah, Louisiana doesn't guard you much. It's crazy, man. Yeah, they're both bad. I don't know which one's worse. We'll see when it's all done, how Texas is looking. It's crazy. They're gonna have to get, like, the military out there. The military should have been there during Katrina getting all those people out. Man, I hear stories about just, like, some random dude on a boat saving, like, 30 people's lives doing trip after trip, you know? Where the hell is our military at?
Seriously, I mean, they were down here in Mississippi handing out meals ready to eat and ice and, you know, just basic necessities. But New Orleans needed it really bad.
Yeah, and they needed more than little meals and water bottles. They needed helicopters and boats swooping in, picking people up, because they were stranded, not doing good. And people were just dying in their houses. Some old ladies stuck in their attic for weeks and shit. Like, come on, military. What the fuck do we pay you for? Excuse my French.
Yeah, I know, and that was sad. That would also explain why New Orleans is so haunted, too.
Yeah, my girl actually mentioned that New Orleans must be pretty haunted. But you can tell. I mean, go hang out in New Orleans. Go to the French Quarter. Go downtown. It's such a bizarre place already. You can just tell. There's a lot of history there. I wonder, I've heard of spirits being connected with objects. And, I wonder if they would stay around. So, like, how they've destroyed all the history in America, where you can travel to other countries and see ancient sites from thousands of years ago. I wonder if there's spirits there going back thousands of years. But if they were to tear those down, those spirits wouldn't be there anymore. They just move on. It's kind of crazy to think about. So a lot of our spirits have moved on in America since we destroyed everything and put up parking lots,
Yeah, I don't think they moved on. I think they're quite disturbed, and they're probably angry about it. I wouldn't blame them if they were. And even the White House is haunted by Abraham Lincoln, and nobody believes that, but it really is.
Oh yeah, maybe they don't move on. Maybe they just get mad. Yeah, maybe they weren't evil spirits until you destroyed their home, and put up a Kmart. Maybe that pissed them off, Yeah, it's interesting.
I know if I had a home and somebody destroyed my home, even though I were dead, I'd probably get mad about it too.
Yeah, and I could see them staying in the home. They're not ready to move on, so they're going to stay wherever they lived. They obviously don't want to leave that place. So yeah, or they might go back to their childhood home or something like that,
Yeah, I mean, they mostly go back to where they remember, like their home they grew up in, or the home that they had when they were alive, that they loved their home, because there was a lot of memories in that home.
I could see that, man. People not wanting to leave their loved ones behind and not being ready to just separate from that completely. Yeah, it's interesting.
Have you ever watched the Omar Gosh TV channel, the channel on YouTube?
No, I heard you mention that before. So he picks up some audio, you said?
Yes, they pick up some mind-blowing Class A EVPs. You would not believe it, but it is mind-blowing.
Yeah, I'll check those out, and maybe I'll insert them into one of our podcasts that we upload on Conscious Chat. But no, I haven't checked Omar Gosh out. I'll have to check it out.
I'll take a picture of his YouTube channel and I'll show it to you, and you're not going to believe what you're going to see.
Yeah, I haven't listened to much of that. I was never impressed by the TV shows, It was just like I don't know, seemed fake or just not much results. But yeah, they've got some good audio. I'd like to hear that. What's that other guy's name? C.E. Emond? What is his name? He sent me a picture that's pretty crazy, and if you look on the right side of that picture, I think he sent it to you, the one with all the orbs. It looks like there's like a ghost right there. It's just 2 orbs and a cemetery, or whatever you call it, headstone or whatever, and it just looks like a person, kind of. It's just a trick of the eye, I guess.
Probably, but you never know. By the way, I'm going to send that picture to you now, and he's actually at the Queen Mary. Yeah, if you look up the Queen Mary history, it's a ship, but that thing had a lot of people die on it, and yeah, it's haunted as can be.
Yeah, some of those pictures are too good, man. Like the one of the girl. Oh my God, could you imagine taking a picture like that? I wonder if they saw it with their eyes before they took the picture. It's crazy.
Probably not, and when they looked again, I bet you they were pretty shocked.
Yeah, I see something like that pop up. Man, that's crazy, man. It's too clear.
I think somebody should do a paranormal investigation out there at Dartford Cemetery, to be honest with you, and that would be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I just wish they could get more information. I wish they could have a conversation, go back and forth, a dialogue, and not just little pictures or little tiny snippets that are like, leave the house, They need more than that. They need to be able to ask them questions and get a response.
Very true, and well, I believe there's some people that could do that, but they just haven't done a paranormal investigation on that place yet. They did do a documentary on it, and if they do a documentary on a haunted location, it is definitely haunted. I mean, this is creepy.
That's the kind of investigation that I'd like to see. I'd like to see like really good, really talented psychics, mediums, and channelers going into those investigations, not just electronic equipment, because electronic equipment's pretty limited in what it can pick up. But a medium or a psychic, their abilities are pretty much unlimited, I think they could have a dialogue.
Yeah, me too. And the thing about electronics is the spirits can actually manipulate your electronics. So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they can make you hear whatever, but I don't know. They can manipulate you even when you have a dialogue as well, probably, or just give you false information. But yeah, like Jane Roberts, she channels the spirit Seth, and he describes the spirit world in like full detail. She can ask any question, get a response. It's a really good book. The main one is Seth Speaks. That's her main book. It's a good one. But then she has a couple others that are pretty good too.
Yeah, Knowledge, when I get my tablet up and running again, I'm going to let you listen to my ghost communicator, and it's going to blow your mind, but it's just like a ghost box, but you can hear it clearer than a ghost box.
Yeah, I'd like to check that out. I'm going to play a little clip here. Let me see if you can hear it.
You may after death utterly refuse to believe that you are dead, and continue to focus your emotional energy toward those you have known in life. If you have been obsessed with a particular project, for example, you may try to complete it. There are always guides to help you understand your situation, but you may be so engrossed that you pay them no heed. There are obviously as many kinds of ghosts and apparitions as there are people. They are as alert or as unalert to their situation as you are to your own. They are not fully focused in physical reality, however, either in personality or in form, and this is their main distinction. Some apparitions are thought forms sent by survival personalities out of lingering deep anxiety. They portray the same compulsive type behavior that can be seen in many instances in your ordinary experience. They are in themselves quite harmless. Only your interpretation of their actions can cause difficulties.
That's just a little clip from the book.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, she has like hours and hours and hours of material, and I would play it all if I could, but there's a way to speed it all up. But yeah, it's good information. I mean, she asks him every question you can think of, and he describes, you know, the spirit world, the afterlife, what it's like to die, what it's like to be born, everything. Full detail. It's a trip.
Yeah, from what I know, dying is kind of like being reborn, but like in reverse.
I don't know, I heard that death was always like no problem for the soul. Like it's like a relief, like a positive thing. It's easy to go from here to the other side because the other side's better. But he said that birth was what was such a shock to the soul, to be born into this world. That's what was hard on the soul, was birth, not death.
Well, yeah, that would make sense. Yeah, I'm charging up my tablet now so I can play my ghost communicator and let you hear what it does.
Yeah, I'd like to hear that.
I tell you one thing, you can definitely hear the disembodied spirits.
Generally now, there are three main areas, though exceptions and extraordinary cases can take other roads. You may decide upon another reincarnation. You may decide to focus instead upon your past life, using it as the stuff of new experience, as mentioned previously, creating variations of events as you have known them, making corrections as you choose. Or you may enter another system of probability entirely, and this is quite apart from a reincarnational existence. You will be leaving all thoughts of continuity of time behind you in such a case. Now some individuals, some personalities, prefer a life organization bound about past, present, and future in a seemingly logical structure, and these persons usually choose reincarnation. Others naively prefer to experience events in an extraordinarily intuitive manner, with the organization being provided by the associative processes. These will choose a system of probabilities for their next main endeavor. Some simply find the physical system not to their liking, and in such a way take leave of it. This cannot be done, however, until the reincarnational cycle, once chosen, is completed, so the last choice...
This is just chapters 11 through 17, and it's 3 hours long, over 3 hours long, and that's one of 3 books, so you can imagine how much material is here. And that's just Seth Speaks. She has other books, you know, like The Nature of Reality and different ones that she produced as well.
Well, I'm fixing to be playing this ghost communicator. It's got EMF, GAN, and EVP abilities. All right, spirit, speak. Say something. I know you're here. Come on. Did you hear what I'm talking about? You could completely hear a disembodied voice.
Yeah, I put my better headphones on while you were playing that. It sounded like I'm alive or something. I'd have to replay it back. I'm going to save it onto my computer.
Yeah, I don't think this spirit realizes it's dead. Speak. Is there anything you want to say to anyone? You know you're dead, right?
Dude, on your first one that you did it, 5 seconds to the end it says, I'm alive. That's really creepy. But I hope that's not just one of those apps that are messing with you.
Oh, it's not. It's the real deal.
Yeah, it seems angry and annoyed in that it thinks it's alive. That's funny. I'd have to hear it again. Maybe it's not angry, but it's just saying that it's alive. Like, you're saying, speak, spirit. It's like, what are you talking about? I'm alive. Call me a spirit. It's like really hard for them to speak. They have to muster up a bunch of energy or something. I think it's draining on them to actually get you to hear them.
Yeah, I know, and it's kind of weird.
Yeah, but that's just so clear, like on the first key up that you did. It's right at 5 seconds to the end, so you have to listen to the whole, like, 25 seconds, and then it says it right before you let go.
Yeah, I know, and I sent you a picture of what the app looks like when you have it activated, and it's kind of creepy, though.
Yeah, I just sent it to myself, so now I have it on my computer, so I can do whatever with it. Mess with the audio. I got a recording studio here. They whisper like that?
Yeah, you can definitely tell that was a Class A EVP.
Okay, so let's go plus 30 decibels. You don't even have to do it with this one. Like, let's play it at 0 decibels, just its regular audio. You can hear I'm alive really clear. Let's go 10 decibels. That is fucking crazy. Let me do a noise reduction on the background noise. 1 second. Okay, I removed all static. And the noise reduction didn't remove that, because that's not static. That is something else. Hope your app's not messing with you.
Oh, it's not. Trust me. Even when I don't have that app playing, I hear some weird things going on in the kitchen and in the dining room, bumping, and sometimes it sounds like something walking around. And no, it ain't the app messing with me. It's the real deal. I do know whatever it is, when I smudge the house, it tries to stop me, and I start feeling dizzy at times.
Jeez, that one comes in clear. You almost could have a dialogue. It's crazy.
I know, and if people knew more about this app that I do got called Ghost Communicator, it would blow their mind, because it gets every time a Class A EVP. No interferences.
Yeah, that is crazy. That was really clear. I could even hear it when you were broadcasting it through here. So I saved the clip to my computer and put it in the audio editing program and was able to turn it up. But I don't even need to turn it up or even do a noise reduction or anything. I could hear it right away. Dude, it has like its own voice, like almost like a person. You know, everybody sounds different. This doesn't sound electronic. It sounds just like somebody saying that. It doesn't sound like some robot voice, you know?
Exactly, and that's what I'm trying to say. I mean, this here gets Class A EVPs and no interference, and it sounds like they're right in the room with you.
Yeah, that is crazy. I don't know. People would say you can't trust the device, so they could just write off all the recordings, I guess. I don't know, but you have to trust technology. There's nothing else we can use to measure shit with, you know? We trust it with our science, so why not the paranormal?
Exactly. I don't know if you heard the second time I was recording, but it was saying full sentences.
I think I was too freaked out over the first one. Yeah, my girl brings up a good point. She said, it could be that he's right, that he's alive, like that we are wrong with our perception of what it means to be a spirit. You're trying to tell it, you're dead. No, there's no such thing as death. You have this concept of death in your mind. He's like, no, I'm alive just like you are. You're crazy, They don't consider themselves dead. They definitely don't use the word death. I'm dead. No way. We don't ever die. And that may be what he's trying to say.
Probably, to us, when a person passes away and leaves their body, they're dead, but to them, they're still alive.
Yeah, and who knows who's right or wrong, is all I'm saying. We might be wrong. And they might have a point, like, no, you keep saying that we just die, but there's no death, like, just changed form, You don't consider yourself dead when you change clothes, like, oh, the yesterday me is dead and gone. I don't know, that's what they're trying to explain, like, it's like changing clothes. They're not dead, nothing's changed.
Yeah, exactly, and, did you hear the second recording I did?
Yeah, I was just trying to play it back, but I just sent it to my computer so I can hear it better. I'm gonna play it through there. Can't make out anything. I think it says I'm alive again. I can't tell what it says. It's hard to make out anything on that one.
Yeah, I know, and sounds like it might need to be cleaned up a little with all the noise in it, because it's like a very faint, disembodied voice. Yeah, I think I need something more advanced, that would pick up with the words that it's trying to say and put them up on the screen so you can know what it's trying to say to you.
Break out the Ouija board. No, I'm just playing. I don't know, maybe it said all it really wanted to say, which was, I'm alive, because that came in pretty freaking clear.
Yeah, it was pretty clear, and there's another one in here, though, that is malevolent, and for some reason, it'll say these words to me. It'll say, boo, and then run, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's creepy. I couldn't deal with that on a regular basis. I've lived in haunted houses before. We had one house, our friend's house, where she was playing with her kid underneath the door. He's like sliding these little play cards under the door, and she slid him back, and he slid him out, and she slid him back, and then all of a sudden they blast out from under the door, like way past her, like all the way down the hall. She's like, what the heck? He's a little boy, he shouldn't be able to do that. So she opens the door and looks in, and him and his sister are playing on the other side of the room. They're nowhere near the door. They weren't there the whole time. It's just crazy. And they saw like their rug just lift up on its own on the corner. It's weird stuff like that.
Yeah, that is kind of freaky.
Yep, that's their old house on St. Paul Street. That was a weird little block. Weird house for sure.
Okay, well, I'm going to try it one more time. I told the spirit it had to speak louder and clearer so I could hear it.
Copy.
Speak louder and clearer so I can hear what you're saying. Come on, spirit. You can do it. Use the EMF from all the electronics around. Come on. Is there any spirit around that wants to talk? I know I can see you from time to time, but speak.
It sounds like breathing, like they come on the mic and breathe, but they don't speak.
Yeah, that's kind of freaky, isn't it?
Maybe they want a question. They're like, say what? I don't have anything to say. You didn't ask anything. You just said speak.
So just speak and tell us what it's like in your world. Okay? What do you need help with? Speak and tell me. Explain what it is you need help with. Did you hear that?
So it said, I thought it said hot, but then you said help, and I was like, oh, that makes sense. It said help. Well, what did it say the second time? Did it say help again?
Yes, it did.
It's just like too hard for them to communicate. You're expecting like full sentences and descriptions. They can barely get a word to you. He's like, I'm alive, help. What the fuck? I'm alive, help. That's trippy. Okay, where are you? Say that.
Where are you at? Tell me. Where are you at? I couldn't hear you the first time. We can help you if you tell me where you're at. Are you stuck in limbo? Tell me. Are you in between life and death? Stuck in limbo? Do you have unfinished business that needs to be attended to? I know your spirit's still alive. I know you live forever spiritually, but your body is dead, but your spirit is living. I got that. But I want to help you. Do you need to move into the light? Is something holding you back from going through the light? Now that was kind of freaky.
It just keeps saying help. What did it say at the end?
I heard it say, boo, run away. Now, that's kind of freaky.
Just messing with you. I'm alive. Help, boo, run away. Just messing with you. It's just like a dumb, evil spirit or something. I don't know. Doesn't want to communicate. Yep.
Apparently, and sounds like it's about time to smudge my house, but it always makes me feel dizzy when I smudge my house because whatever it is trying to stop me from doing that.
I don't know, that clip I just played from the book, Jane Roberts' book, said that they can only affect you as much as in the way that you react to them, you know. They really can't have any effect if you don't react.
I don't know, but every time I smudge the house, I say a prayer, and it goes like this. I'll look around and I'll say, in the name of Jesus of Nazareth, I command all unclean evil spirits to leave my house and never return. And that's when I start feeling dizzy.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you know my opinion of the whole Jesus thing. I wouldn't use him to clear my energy, but I know people who do. But yeah, I don't know. I think if you brought in like a shaman, they wouldn't pray to Jesus. Everybody has their own way depending on their religious beliefs, I guess. But whatever works. I don't know. That doesn't seem to be working, though. You said you get dizzy.
Yeah, I think the reason I'm getting dizzy from it is it's not a good spirit, but an evil spirit. And no evil spirit likes it when you pray in the Christian way because they hate it. And when I do that, and after I'm done, though, the house seems to feel lighter for a long time, but then it just seems to come back, even though it, I got rid of it.
Yeah, maybe if you just try to keep good energy in that space, they'll stay away from it. But yeah, I don't think they can do much.
Well, I think it has something to do with the history of the house. I mean, long ago it was a horse farm, and I don't know if they ever had workers here or not, but this thing has a very not so good history.
Yeah, I mean, I find in most cases that it's the people who are alive who have to leave because you can't get them to move on. I don't know. Best way to overcome a haunted house is to get one that isn't haunted. Just gotta let them have that space for however long they want to occupy it.
Yeah, that's true, but it's hard to find a house that isn't haunted these days.
True. It's funny that Google actually has a response to how to get rid of one.
The easiest way to get rid of a ghost is to simply ask it to leave. Use a firm voice and tell the ghost exactly what you want and why. Ghosts don't always know that they are dead. Sometimes you may have to ask what the spirit wants. Use your imagination to see loved ones, angels, or guides coming to.
That's funny. Even Google right there, the second thing they say is, ghosts don't know they're dead. And that's the main thing it wanted to say is, what? I'm alive.
Yeah, I know. And, well, I've tried that, and it don't work when you ask them to leave because they ain't going to leave.
Simply tell them to leave. Yeah, it's a terrible suggestion. I don't think that would work. I'm sure people have tried that. Yeah, maybe that works on the nice ones where they're like, oh, okay, I'll move on. That's just the first step. If that doesn't work, you have to take other measures.
Exactly, and if it's a demonic spirit that's from, that doesn't work. You have to take drastic measures, and sometimes that don't even work.
Yeah, Gaia actually does an article on it. How to get rid of unwanted ones. First they say do cleansing, smudging, prayer, casting in a circle. Then they say communicate, asking it to leave, ordering it to leave. Then they say banish it. So if you're not having any of your necessities, more extreme method might be necessary. Banishing spells should only be used for malicious spirits, unwilling to cross over. It's important to first communicate with benevolent spirits to cross over or use a simple spell to assist them into the light. And then it says consult help, I guess. But what is casting a circle? Holding hands in a circle or physically making a circle creates a sacred space, and is commonly used by pagans and Wiccans. The circle holds energy and is easier to contain within the circle. That's weird. That's what Christians do when they pray at the table. They don't know that they're doing like a pagan worship, creating a sacred space, but they do it in the name of Jesus. Interesting.
Yeah, it is, and well, I'm gonna try one more time to smudge my house and try to get this thing out of here, whatever it is, but it's not too friendly. It makes me feel dizzy when I smudge the house. I mean, I don't want to make my father-in-law's spirit leave because this is his home. He's a good person.
Yeah, well, it doesn't seem like that's the one communicating, would have more to say if that was the case.
Very true, and my father-in-law was a Christian, and I actually took a picture of his urn and found a blue orb right there at his urn. So that I know was him.
Yeah, that may not be the way that, good ones, benevolent ones communicate. That's the way that the not-so-good ones communicate, kind of like the Ouija board. I'd want to test that in other places and see if it still gets the same results, and then I'd be leery of the application, but I don't know if you've tested it, how many places you've tested that in.
And it looks like that's all the time we have today. If you want to hear more shows like this one, you can visit us at www.consciouschat.com. Stream all the shows free of charge via SoundCloud or YouTube. Again, thank you for listening to Conscious Chat on All Things Tech.